Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Mukesh English. This is Mukesh Soni. Friends, in this video we are going to have a discussion of the question paper of 2022 examination question paper of second semester BA Generic English under Bangalore City University BCU second semester Generic English 2022 examination question paper discussion. Duration for the examination as usual 2 hours 30 minutes and the maximum marks 60. Before that, let's have a glance at the syllabus. The 40 marks workbook. You'll be asked the questions from the passage, the comprehension passage. Read the passage, identify the theme and the title. Then vocabulary building. Then you have synonyms, antonyms, prefix, suffix, homonym, homophones, collocations. Then you have fill up the blanks with the articles, preposition, linkers, verbs, adverbs, then tenses. Then you have reported speech, dialogue writing, verbal, non-verbal communication, story writing based on the outline. Then public speaking, where you have a choice between welcome speech and vote of thanks. So this is the 40 marks questions syllabus. Then remaining you have 20 marks from the literary sections. You have 6 chapters in your syllabus. First is the shut down the shop story, a face in the dark, give all to love, the cold within poem, Mrs. Datta writes a letter, the fly. So these are the 6 chapters for 20 marks. Now let's have a discussion of the question paper 2020 2022. Section A with the workbook 40 marks. So you need to read this passage and answer the questions given below. So kindly go through this passage and answer the 5 questions based on this passage. So at least you should read minimum 2 times and find the answer. Write the answer to the point. Don't write paragraphs together. One line answer or one word answer you should write. So the question number 1, where was Weddell walking in Tibet? Weddell was walking through a snow-covered hill in Tibet. What did Weddell find in the snow? He saw a large footprint in the snow. Who was unsuccessful as Weddell in solving the mystery? Colonel Burry. What caught the imagination of the world? Abominable, abominable snowman, who is greatly feared by the local people, man of rocky places. So after reading the passage, you will be able to answer those 5 questions. So read the passage and answer those questions. This is the 5 marks. Now we are moving to the next segment is here, do as directed. Under do as directed, we have vocabulary building. The first one is here, synonym. So you can see here, you need to find the synonym of you need to find the correct synonym, either crawling or climbing. So you have choice here. All the children loved, not crawling, climbing the hill behind the house. So the correct answer is here, climbing, not crawling. The students collected in the playground for sports day? No. The student assembled in the playground for sports day. So out of the 2 synonyms, you need to select one. Then antonym. Antonym means to say opposite meaning. Accept. So which is correct here? Select or reject? Reject. Alive, which is correct? Dead or dreadful? Dead. So accept antonym, reject. Alive antonym is dead. So 4 marks questions done. Next, suitable prefixes. He was a courageous boy. Dogs are great for those looking for companionship. So courage, courageous, companion, companionship. Next, frame 2 sentences, each for the homonym saw, SAW, saw. So the first, he saw me near the park. This is as a verb. Next, she knows how to use a handsaw. This as a noun. Saw means to say a kind of instrument which is used to cut some vegetable or some sort of the other wood, etc. So the first is as a verb and second is as a noun. Next, write a suitable homophones for the word see, S-E-A, and the homophone is here S-E-E, Homophone means to say same pronunciation but different meaning as well as different spelling. Next, identify the proper collocation, round the applause or clap your hands. So formal context, round of applause, not round the applause, round of applause. So this is from the do as directed section. Next, read the passage given below and fill in the blanks by choosing the appropriate answer given in the bracket. So you can see here the giraffes are the tallest or longest. Tallest. Correct answer is here tallest animal in the world. They can increase or grow. They can grow up to about 5 meters tall, that is about as tall as a double decker car. Car cannot happen, double decker bus. So you need to write it in the examination only the answer tallest, grow, and bus. Tallest living, grow up to, double decker bus. So these are the 3 marks. Fill in the blanks by using the correct tense from the verb. So here we need to find out either this is in the past tense or present tense. So we have a clue here, we decided. So this clue is here that shows that the s- the s- the passage should be in the past tense. So we decided to travel by car and left the house early. We were on the road for 2 hours, then our car hit a stone in the middle of the road. So the correct answer, leave past tense is left, be past tense is were, okay, because it's the pronoun subject is plural, we, and hit past tense is hit. Let me tell you one thing, many students they write hitted. So hitted is the wrong answer. Hit, put, shut. So there is no eden for these three verbs. Remember, these three verbs will remain same, no change. Hit, put, shut, shut. So many students they write hitted, putted, shutted. It's wrong answer. Remember, these are quite common errors we have seen while observing your answer scripts. So either it's in past tense, present tense, all the three forms remain same, especially for these three verbs. So now let's move to the reported speech. You have 3 questions for the reported speech. First one, my mother said, comma, inverted comma, I get up early in the morning. So let's see the format. My mother said. Now you remove the comma, inverted comma. It's a positive sense, it's an assertive sentence. So we'll remove comma, inverted comma, we'll connect it with the conjunction that. Okay, THET that. My mother is a pronoun. My mother is a here we need to change the pronoun here. I will change to she because of female, obviously. My mother, this my mother will change to she, and she get up early in the morning. Now we cannot write here got up early in the morning because it's a daily routine. So daily routine cannot be changed into the past tense. So we'll copy the same. She gets up instead of she get up. She gets up because it is subject to a verb agreement. She gets up early in the morning. Next, Rahul said to me, when are you leaving? Rahul asked. It's a question. So we'll say asked, not asked because in the past tense, so ed form, asked me. We will copy the same WH word when. Me here refers to obviously I. When I, R will convert to change to was. Remaining will say, it will same verb. When I was leaving. Rahul asked me when I was leaving. Then Mohan said, Switzerland is a very beautiful country. Mohan commented that. It's a kind of comment. Switzerland is a very beautiful country. Here again, you should not say, sir, said is in the past tense, so here it should be was. No. So there are some expressions which cannot be in the past tense. You can't say that Switzerland was a beautiful country yesterday and today it is not. No, it's a universal statement. It's a beautiful country and ever remain beautiful country. So we want to change it. So like this, few questions might be quite tricky question. You need to go through very properly. Otherwise, you'll be losing marks here. So like this, you have 3 marks questions from the reported speech. Now, the next question is very interesting. Write a dialogue between a shopkeeper and a customer. I won't read the dialogue. You can go through the dialogues on the screen here. See, when you are writing the dialogue, you need to give a caption, who is customer and who is shopkeeper. It's for 3 marks. So obviously at least 6 to 8 dialogues in a pair, it should be there. While writing the dialogues, keep in mind the correct punctuation mark, the capital letter of the first word, right? Comma, question mark, exclamatory mark, apostrophe, etc. Keep in mind some sort of short forms like of course, certainly, why not, aren't you. So question tag also you can use in the dialogue writing. So you can go through the answer from screen here. So you will be having one dialogue. There's quite 3 marks question, a dialogue between a shopkeeper and a customer. Anything you can think about stationery. You can think about any book you would like to buy. How will you talk to the person? What inquiry will you do, and what answer maybe from a shopkeeper? Next question, 3 questions we have from the topic verbal and non-verbal communication. So let me tell you one more thing, that in the description box of this video, I have mentioned all the links of my videos on grammar. I done the videos on reported speech, verbal, non-verbal communication, um, dialogue writing, everything, all the links of the grammar as well as the literature part, lessons, videos, links you can find in the description box, and you can go through all those videos. It will help you for your further preparation. So the question number 1 from verbal, non-verbal communication, excuse me. Define proxemics. What is the meaning of proxemics? Proxemics is the study of personal space and the degree of separation that individuals maintain between each other in social situations. Simple way, when a two persons are talking, how much distance these two persons should have. So there are different distances. We have social distance, intimate distance, right, professional distance, ಅಷ್ಟು ದೂರ ಇರಬೇಕು, right, when we are talking to each other. So this is a meaning, and there's a technical word is here, proxemics, the personal space, the distance and the degree of separation that individuals maintain between each other in the social situations. Define chronomics. Chronomics means to say chronomics is a field of study, examination, the utilization of time in nonverbal communication. Chronomics means to say how much time you are consuming while using your body language, posture, gesture, facial expression. Time chronomics. Remember chronology. Don't we use the word chronology? Chronology refers to time. Chronomics refers to the study, a field of study where you examine the how much time is used in the non-verbal communication. There's one more term is here, kinesics. K-I-N-E, kinesics. That means to say the usage of body language. That is the usage of body language. During the use of body language, how much time you utilize, that is the meaning of chronomics. So these 3 terms are very important: proxemics, chronomics, and kinesics. Kinesics means to say the body language, posture, gesture, eye contact, facial expression, movement. Third question, name any 2 types of visual communication. So obviously, whatever you see from your eyes, like PowerPoint presentation, bar graph, chart, poster, animation, right, cartoons, etc. So you can find all those questions answers in my video of verbal and non-verbal communication, and easily you can get 3 out of 3 marks. So very scoring paper, work more on the language component, just for 40 marks. Now we are moving to the next question is here, write a short story, write a short essay by expanding the outline or the hints given below. So you have an outline, it may be about the essay or it may be about any of the story also. So you have the essay here, you have the outline here. A poor woodcutter's axe slipped and fell into a river. You may get some sort of disturbance. A poor woodcutter's axe slipped in and fell into a river. God heard him cry and wanted to help him. He dived into the river and brought a gold axe for him. The honest woodcutter did not take this axe. The god again went down into the river and brought up a silver axe. Woodcutter refused to accept was the god was very pleased, and the gold and silver axes. So with the help of this outline, you need to create a kind of story. So title you should give, remember, and you can begin like this. One day a poor woodcutter was cutting a tree on the bank of river. By chance his iron axe slipped from his hands, fell into the water, and disappeared. The woodcutter sat down and began to cry about his loss. The river god, feeling sorry for him, dived to the bottom and brought out a golden axe. But the woodcutter said that it was not this, it was not his. The river god dived again, and this time he brought out a silver axe, but the woodcutter again the woodcutter again refused to take it. After third dive into the water, the river god brought out the iron axe, and the poor woodcutter cried in great delight. He said, "That's mine." The river god was so pleased with his honesty and that he gave him the gold and silver axes also. So the woodcutter went to his cottage rejoicing. So honest is the best policy. So this question is for 5 marks. If you create the short essay or the short story with the help of the particular outline, you will get definitely the best marks. Now next you have here, write a welcome speech for the inauguration of ethnic day in your college. So it's a welcome speech. Now how to begin the welcome speech or vote of thanks here? You should greet the audience, you should talk about you should welcome everybody, and you should thank the audience. So here, welcome speech for the inauguration of ethnic day. Good morning everyone, a very warm welcome and heartfelt welcome to each one of you as we gather here today to celebrate the rich tapestry of cultures that make up the vibrant mosaic of a college community. It gives me immense pleasure to stand before you on this auspicious occasion as we inaugurate the much anticipated Ethnic Day. Let me extend my welcome note to our chief guest, Ms. Padma, the state level fashion designer. Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam, for gracing the occasion. I welcome our principal, Dr. Nandish, on this occasion. I also welcome the HODs and the coordinators. I must not forget to welcome all the participants who have actively taken part in the events of today's program, because the Ethnic Day we have been celebrating from the past 7 days, and today is the the finale. I welcome all the students who are going to witness the most awaited Ethnic Day of 2023. So, welcome you all. So, like this, you should begin. And again, I would say that there's no exact format of welcome speech, but there are few key points. First one, you greet, write some sort of write up about the particular event, then you welcome one by one everybody. I extend my welcome note, let me take an opportunity to welcome. So change those phrases at the end here, welcome you all. So this is for 5 marks. Suppose you don't like to write welcome speech, you can write here the vote of thanks. So you have another question, write vote of thanks for the seminar organized by your college. A very pleasant evening to one and all. It's with immense gratitude and pleasure that I stand before you to extend my heartfelt word of thanks on behalf of DSCAC, your college name, for making our seminar title ELT A New Perspective a resounding success. First and foremost, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to our esteemed speakers, Dr. Divakar and Dr. Govind Raju, for sharing their profound knowledge, insights, and experiences with us. Your enlightening talks have left an indelible mark on our mind and have undoubtedly enriched our understanding of the subject matter. I'm sorry. We are truly fortunate to have had the opportunity to learn from your expertise. I would like to extend your appreciation to all the participants who took the time to join us today. Your active participation, thoughtful questions, and engaging discussions have contributed significantly to the depth and diversity of this seminar. It's your enthusiasm that has made this event not just informative but also interactive and intellectually stimulating. A special word of thanks goes to our faculty members who have been instrumental in organizing this seminar. Your dedication, guidance, and unwavering support have been pivotal in ensuring the success of this event. Your commitment to the academic growth of our student is truly commendable. I would also like to thank our technical team, event organizers, and all the volunteers who worked tirelessly behind the scene to ensure that everything ran smoothly. Your hard work and meticulous planning have made this seminar a seamless experience for everyone involved. We are grateful to our sponsors and supporters who have helped make this event financially possible. Your generosity is a testament to your belief in the importance of educational initiatives like this. Lastly, I want to express a gratitude to our college administration, for the college management, for the continuous encouragement and support in organizing events that foster learning and growth within our institution. In conclusion, this seminar has been a testament to the collaborative spirit and intellectual curiosity that define our college community. We hope that the knowledge gained here today will not only benefit us academically but also inspire us to apply these insights in our future endeavors. Once again, thank you to all our speakers, participants, faculty, staff, and sponsors for making this seminar a memorable and intellectually rewarding experience. We would look forward to more such enlightening events in the future. Thank you and have a wonderful evening. So friends, this is how you should write the vote of thanks. It's quite lengthy one, but you would have got so many different catchy statement, some catchy phrases. Those phrases you can use in the different vote of thanks. So this is about the 40 marks questions from the language component from the grammar part. Now we are going to have a discussion of the lessons questions from the course book section B, 20 marks. So here you have three sections, 1 mark question, 5 marks questions, and 10-mark questions. So answer any five of the following questions in a sentence, phrase, or a word. Each question is for 1 mark. So 1 mark, 5 questions. Question number one: why is the shop compared to Kamdhenu? A cow owner provides cow whatever he desires. Similarly, the shop provides its customer whatever they desire. Why was Mr. Oliver shocked to see the boy's face? It had no eyes, no ears, no nose, no mouth. It was just a round, smooth head with a school cap on the top of it. Third question: what does the poet mean by the word all in the poem Give All to Love? The word all encompasses the entire reality of an individual's experiences, relationships with friends and relatives, the turn of events, ownership of property, recognition and renown, plans for the future, and encouraging sources of inspiration. Question number four: what does the first person hold back in the poem The Cold Within? He holds a single stick of wood. All 6 men died with their logs tightly clutched in the hands. Is it right? Yes, it's a true statement from the poem The Cold Within. What were the 3 things that Mrs. Datta missed the most in California? Number one, getting up early in the morning, no need to set alarm, washing clothes by her hands. So she had to get up late. She need not set alarm, and there was a washing machine. So she used to miss to get up early in the morning. She used to miss setting up alarm. She used to miss washing the clothes by her hands. Seventh question: who are the girls referred to in the story The Fly? The girls were Woody Field's daughters. They went to his son's grave in Belgium. So out of 7 questions, you are going to select only 5 questions. So these are the 5 marks questions. Now the second next part is here. Answer any one question, only one question out of 3 questions, and this is your 5 marks question. See, you have plenty of choices here. Out of 3 questions, you are going to opt here one question that is for 5 marks. Question number one: the shopkeeper is compared to Kamdhenu in the past, but things are different now. So let me tell you, I have given the answer in such a manner that somehow it also covers your summary. So that's going to help you to opt to go through the other questions as well in future. The shopkeeper is trying to sell the wares of the shop by displaying them for sale. The wares are scattered, not arranged. The speaker feels difficulty to sell the content by publicizing them through sale. The shop is always kept one. The speaker recalls that once upon a time the street had only the 2 shops. That time this shopkeeper's shop was like Kamdhenu, who could avail anything, and the shopkeeper was a ruler. On the other hand, today, at every step, there's a luxury shop which could sharply at our doorstep. There was a time when this shopkeeper used to supply in the past refined, edible groceries without any fraud in weights and measures. So the shop was swarming with customers all day and night. So many customers. But today, buyers hesitate to buy anything 1,000 or 2 was a huge capital during those time. The whole locality was attracted. So that is a difference. Question number two: what is the significance of the expression dying fire, the logs of wood in the poem The Cold Within? The dying fire and the logs of wood expression in this poem might be seen as a symbolic and hence significant elements. The poet has depicted the discrimination among people based on their caste, class, religion, color, economic, and social conditions. This discrimination is described as a lack of warm human spirit, the cold within their hearts in the very last line of the poem. Hence, the dying fire indicates a decreasing human spirit in us, and the logs of wood may symbolize immense property or wealth, including his intellect and genius. People can help others with those physical and intellectual capacity they have, but if they persist in discriminating on the grounds of race, religion, caste, gender, and ethnicity, they are all lost. Question number three: how did Mrs. Datta spend the 3 years after her husband's death? Mrs. Datta was accustomed to living on her own. She had done it for the 3 years after her husband Sagar, sorry, after her after Sagar's father died, means to say after her son's father, means to say after her husband died, politely but stubbornly declining the offers of various relatives, well-meaning and otherwise, to come and stay with her. In this, she surprised herself as well as others who thought of her as a shy, sheltered woman, one who would surely fall apart without her husband to handle things for her. But she managed quite well. She missed Sagar's father, of course, especially in the evenings when it had been his habit, her husband's habit, to read to her the most amusing parts of the newspaper while she rolled out chapatis. But once the grief receded, she found she enjoyed being mistress of her own life. As she confides to Mrs. Basu, she liked being able, for the first time ever, to lie in bed all evenings. So she used to lie in the bed for all evenings. She used to read a new novel of Shankar's straight through if she wanted, or to send out for hot eggplant pakoras on a rainy day without feeling guilty that she was not serving up a balanced meal. So, this is how she used to spend the 3 years after her husband's death. So these are the three questions. Okay, there's one more choice you have. I forgot. Out of you have plenty of choice. You have been given here 4 questions out of 4. Only one question you need to opt as per the last year's question paper. Describe the grief of the boss over his son's death. Oh, so what is the boss reaction when he found his son's death news in the story The Fly? The boss recalls how ever since his son's birth the boss had built up a successful business so that his son, his only son, could one day take over. After all, the business and life itself had no other meaning if it was not for the boy. Before the war, the boss took great pride in his son's training or apprenticeship at his company, where the boy was competent and popular with all the staff. However, everything changed when 6 years ago a telegram arrived informing the boss of his son's death at war. The boss had left work like a broken man with his life in ruins. Reflecting on how quickly the 6 years have passed, the boss is dismayed by his current inability to grieve for his son. The boss feels that something is wrong with him because he is not feeling the way he thinks he should be. Gazing, observing at the photograph of his son, the boss becomes further unsettled by the unnatural, cold expression on his son's face. So these are the four questions, and out of four questions, you need to opt only one question for 5 marks. Now answer any one of the questions in about 2 pages. So you have here choices. 3 questions are given, and out of 3 questions, you need to opt only one question. That's for 10 marks. Really amazing. A lot of choices you have here. Question number one. Describe Mr. Oliver's encounter with the boy. The central protagonist of the story of Face in the Dark is a British man called Oliver. He is an enthusiastic and kind teacher at a prestigious school in Shimla. He is extremely devoted to the well being of his students and attempts to educate them in the best possible way. He spends most of his time at the school or library with a pending work because he has no family of his own and is thus very lonely in the world. This lack of a wife and children haunts him, but he goes on with his daily life without much fuss. He has strict everyday routine which he follows with diligence. It involves like walking up in the morning for school, then going over to the market on his bicycle in the evenings. While returning home from the market, he often takes a small detour as a form of refreshment from his dull life. This path is a road through the wild, which is always teeming with pine trees and wildlife. So quite jungle, thick jungle. He has to cross jungle, just like jungle type. As the dusk falls very quickly in the hills, it gets dark by the time he comes back to the school. Oliver never allows himself to be afraid of the dark and always carries a torch with him wherever he goes. On one such evening, when he was simply following his routine and taking a detour while on his way back from the market, he heard the sobs of a child in the dark. One child was crying in the darkness. He stops on his bicycle and tries to find the source of the sound among the brambles and the bushes of the wild. That is when he discovers a small boy sitting crouched in the dark and crying into his palms. Obviously, the kind hearted school teacher is surprised and overwhelmed to see a young schoolboy sitting all alone and crying, so he asks him questions about his whereabouts. He goes on to advise the child to leave this place immediately, as it might be dangerous for him to be out late in the hills after dark. Even after trying to console him, the boy does not heed to any of the things. He did not listen whatever Oliver said and continues sobbing in a relentless strain. He was keep on crying. The compassionate man still could not leave the child. This teacher has not left the child alone and continues to coax him, continues to persuade him, convince him into talking and telling him his problems. The boy eventually decided to stop his sobbing and look up. As the light from Oliver's torch reached the boy's face, Oliver was shocked to see that the boy had no eyes, the boy had no ears, the boy had no mouth on his face. His face was featureless, mound of bare skin, only skin, and this revelation scared Oliver beyond expression. Somehow, at that very moment, the torch in Oliver's hand goes off, fell down, and he is left standing in the dark with a faceless, crying boy. After the initial shock was over, Oliver gathers all his courage and decides to flee, to run away from that place. He drops his torch and turns around to run as fast as his legs would allow. His mind was at once both blank and filled with terror. He didn't even care that he was howling as he ran towards the school, screaming for help. He came across the school watchguard at the gate, who stops him and asks him, "What happened?" Panting, the poor, scared man relates his encounter with the little ghost boy in the jungle to the watchman. He tells a story to the watchman. Relief washed over him as he felt much better in the presence of the watchman. Very interesting story. Second question for 10 marks. They did not die from the cold without, they died from the cold within. Substantiate your answer with reference to the poem, The Cold Within. Again, I would repeat, I have tried to answer the questions in such a manner that it covers the complete story so that you can answer any question which come from such lessons. The poem The Cold Within by James Patrick Kinney is a simple yet powerful reminder that if we selfishly hold on to the world's resources and the wealth that it has to offer, if we persist in discriminating on the grounds of race, religion, caste, gender, and ethnicity, we are all lost. In James Skinny's 1960s poem, The Cold Within, six men sit around a dwindling fire on a cold night. If the fire goes out, they will all die. Each man, means to say, if the fire extinguished, because it's too cold, each man has some wood that would keep the fire going, but they all find a reason not to share the wood. The reasons are racism, class prejudice, or straight up selfishness. All the six men freeze to death, all the six men die, but it is the metaphorical cold within, their unwillingness to be kind to each other, that really kills them. So that is the theme of the story. Now we are coming to the main answer. By chance, six men found themselves struck together in harsh cold weather. They all had a stick of wood. Everybody had a stick of wood. So the story begins like this. Their dwindling fire needed more fuel. Means to say, the fire, something like a fireplace, and it requires more wood to continue. The first man clung to his stick, having noticed that one of the other men was black. The first man, he just held the stick with him. No, I will not put into the fire because the other person is a black person by skin's color. The second man looked at the others and he saw someone who practiced a different religion than he did, so he too was unwilling to throw his wood in the fire. So the second person who was holding a stick, he also didn't put the stick into the fire because he thought that the other person belongs to some other religion. The third man was impoverished, his clothes falling apart, very poor. He pulled his coat tighter around him, wondering why he ought to throw his log into the fire when one of the others was a lazy, undeserving rich man. He thought that the others are rich men and I'm a very poor person. Why should I do? That rich man sat back, dreaming of his riches and how to keep them away from lazy, unambitious people like the poor man in front of him. So he also holds the stick in his hand. He also does not put the stick into the fire. The black man looked vengeful as the fire died down. He had decided that holding back his stick was a way to get revenge on the white man. The final man in this doomed group did nothing unless there was something in it for him. He would only give to those who could give him something in return. That was his way of life. So all six men died because they did not contribute the stick which they were having in their hands to the fireplace. Otherwise, they would have been alive because it was too cold. So all six men died, still holding on to the firewood. So these unused sticks proved that humanity has lost its way. The men died not from the cold around them, but the men died because of the cold inside the souls, because they were believing more the racial discrimination, religion, caste, greed, poverty, richness. So they had so many hurdles, they had so many threats in those minds, and because of that, they could not save their own life. They were responsible for their own life. Third question, or the last question. Mrs. Datta tries to carry her cultural practices to America, but all in vain. No usage. Discuss how. Mrs. Datta writes a letter. It's a story. The title. Mrs. Datta writes a letter is a story about a widow living with her son in California home in California who discovers that her old orthodox world ways causing embarrassment to her daughter-in-law on the first morning when she gets up. Because what happens, Mrs. Datta's husband is no more. Now widow has only the two choices, either to stay alone, or maybe or to go with her son. So she goes to her son's house in California, where she cannot get adjust with her daughter-in-law and with her grandchildren. So on the first morning she gets up early, which distracts others sleep. She's surprised when Shamoli, Datta's daughter-in-law, Shamoli did not punish the children for being disrespectful to the elders like Mrs. Datta. When Mrs. Datta prepared Indian meal, Shamoli initially enjoyed, but later she became very much worried about cholesterol in it, and she is terrified of the washing machine, then washing on her own. She felt bad when her neighbor ignored her. She could not accept men. She could not accept men like Hisan Sagar, etc., working at home, like his son working at home doing household chores. Throughout the story, she compares American behavior with Indian customs and belief. So she was unable to adjust with this American system where her daughter in law does not like the food, how she prepares, where her grandchildren does not respect her, where her daughter in law does not scold the grandchildren for disrespecting the elder, where she cannot wash her clothes by her own hands because she was used to do in India, and where she finds that men are working at home or they're doing domestic work, which is not we usually don't see in India. So these were quite different practices in America. The major theme portrayed in is the difference between traditional Indians and migrated Indians living in America. The cultural conflict that is created in their lives is beautifully portrayed. Mrs. Datta, who has been raised to a traditional Indian wife, was taught that her needs should be placed below the family's needs, is used to get up early in the morning than others. However, in America, her early morning activities pose always brings problems because the noise wakes up uh, Shamoli, correct. But the habit is taught to her by her mother-in-law because she has learned from her mother-in-law when she was a bride of 17. What her mother-in-law used to tell her, a good wife wakes before the rest of the household, is the one she finds impossible to break. She's unable to stop this practice. Mrs. Datta could not help comparing Indian culture with American culture when the children complain about her to her daughter-in-law Shamoli, but she does not try to correct them. Her daughter-in-law does not try to correct the children. In India, children are taught to respect their elders and obey their words. The idea of honoring mothers for one day is shocking, and she felt contempt for the Americans. She believes that it does not honor their mothers every day. As traditional in India, her disapproval of Mother's Day is representative of the disapproval towards the Indian culture. Further, Mrs. Datta has a trouble adjusting to Americans' lifestyle in washing clothes. The narrator explains washing clothes has been a problem for Mrs. Datta ever since she arrived in California. In India, Mrs. Datta used to wash in hand and hang them in sun for drying. She is not used to the electric devices used in America. When Mrs. Datta asked her son to demonstrate the machine, she found it difficult as narrated. When she faced them alone, the machines with their cryptic symbols and rows of gleaming knobs terrified her. What if she pressed the wrong button and flooded the entire floor with soap suds? Her response shows that she is overwhelmed by a highly technological advanced machine. Mrs. Datta gets into another trouble while trying to talk to her neighbor who did not bother to respond. She compares her Indian friends who cared her when she was alone in India without her husband. When she was alone when she was alone in India for 3 years, even though she missed her family, she did not feel alien to the land. She was a mistress of the house and did everything she wished. But when she was sick, she felt alone because she thought if everyone was present, they would trouble her with some work, but then no one was with her during the 3 years. She felt that she could not be cured of her sickness, but when she saw the picture of the grandchildren, she desired for the love. She longed for the love and wanted to stay with them, and she went to California. Mrs. Datta could not accept the concept of men working at home while women rest. It baffled her because she was raised under Indian culture. She refuses to allow her son to wash the clothes. She says, no, 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 clothes and all is no work for the man of the house. I'll do it. Her daughter-in-law answers her saying, that is why Indian men are so useless around the house. Here in America, we don't believe in men's work and women's work. Don't I work outside day just like Sagar? How will I manage if he does not help me? Mrs. Datta could not imagine man handling women's clothing and bringing clothes to the living room shocked. As the narrator says, Shamoli pulled out Mrs. Datta's crumpled, baggy bras from the heap. She wished the ground would open up and swallows her like the Sita of mythology. But accepting life, she tries to learn the new way of living. As she writes to Mrs. Basu, she says, I'm fitting in so well here. You would never guess I came only 2 months back and I have found new ways of doing things, of solving problems creatively. You would be most proud if you saw me. So finally, to conclude, Mrs. Datta could not help comparing the events with that of Indian counterpart. She always wonders at the behavior of the people, and at the end of her life, she could not accept the change easily. She comes to the conclusion that widowhood in India to be a better state than living in America in an alien land. So this is how we have discussed here 10 marks questions. So friends, this is how we have discussed, and on screen you can see the blueprint of your question paper. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope this video would definitely help you to answer the questions. And previously I have solved here I have solved the model question paper also. In the description box you can see the model question papers video link, and all the lessons link, all the grammar parts link you can see in the description box. Thank you so much. If you like this video, click on the like button. Write in the comment box. If you are not yet subscribed my channel, please do subscribe the channel. Thank you once again. Dear friends, thank you so much for watching this video. You can reach me at mukeshenglish@gmail.com. Please do subscribe the channel. Click on the like button for more videos on literature, workbook, pronunciation, grammar, communication skills, presentation skills, interview skills. Stay in tune with Mukesh English. Thank you once again.